Today was day 4 of the Sean Combs trial. And it was interesting for a lot of reasons, you know. Whew. Today, Cassie Ventura, so far the star witness of the prosecution, hit the stand and was cross-examined. And they got their money's worth, or Diddy got his money's worth from, I think, these lawyers. The lawyers had Cassie sort of forced her to defend her own messages to him. Some of the messages showed her enthusiastically saying she wanted to participate in a freak off, the little sex, but not the sex parties, right? Around 5 p.m. The attorney says, "Do you recall the beginning of the freak off session?" Sean Combs' lawyer asked her that question, and she says she didn't, but she guessed that she had taken ecstasy or MDMA. They asked her if it was a bad batch of drugs. She said she had no idea, and then they started digging. They go through the text messages. They show her saying that she's looking forward to it. That basically they want to frame represent her as somebody who they want to frame her as somebody who wanted to be a part of all of this. I don't want you thinking I don't want to. They have her saying on the text. I mean, there's lots of text. They show her being nice to him. They show her giving him encouragement. They show her they show her doing lots of things and saying lots of things that would give the impression that she was an active participant in their sex parties and a willing participant in their sex parties. The active part isn't really in question. That absolutely was the best part of the day for the defense, because the more she's forced to defend herself, and the more it looks like, look, they just a freaky ass couple that did freaky ass stuff. The more it looks like that, and the more that's the discourse, the more safe she is. And the prosecution also was basically asking about drugs a lot, essentially saying that Diddy and Cassie were fighting all the time. Not that it was an abusive relationship, but that they just fought a lot, and that it was a volatile relationship, and that it was fueled by drugs and jealousy. And of course, Cassie testified about Kid Cudi, the rapper Kid Cudi, with whom Cassie had an affair. And of course, they got her to admit that she was jealous of Kim Porter, Diddy's ex. And so this creates a lot. By the way, Dawn Richard from Danity Kane and, you know, all that, she'll be testifying soon, maybe tomorrow even. Cassie's got another appearance tomorrow, Friday. Cassie, however, didn't sink the case or do anything wrong. She offered her perspective. She still framed him as violent. She still talked about her fear of leaving. She still talked about what he did when he did leave. So again, I don't think the prosecution lost a ton of ground, but they definitely didn't gain much, because again, Diddy's lawyers did a heck of a job. They had her starting all the way back in 2007, where she wrote, "We've only really had 1 week of each other just together, and I can say that it's been the best and worst. I'm sad, mad, frustrated, and hurt that you just don't feel like I'm the right one." So it's like tumultuous relationship. They love each other, or she loves him, she's into him. it's about jealousy and getting him. It just makes it look like she's trying to do something as opposed to she's being harmed. She wrote a couple years later, "I love you so much it consumes my life." That's another text. They were very careful in curating these text messages from Cassie to Diddy. But it's 2009, they had her saying, "I'm always ready to freak off." That's the kind of stuff that they hope sticks with the jury. Now, conversely, she talked about the sex parties and the freak offs as being something she did to indulge his sexual fantasy. She said she quickly realized she did not enjoy the drug-fueled orgies, and she said that the parties would go on for days, and that she'd have to have sexual encounters with prostitutes and strangers, and she just didn't want to do that stuff. And so again, a lot of this is going to come down to who you believe and who you trust. The defense is saying Diddy's a bad guy. He's a freak, but he's also a bad guy. He's not honest all the time. He's jealous. He's controlling. He's violent, maybe, but he's not someone who does the things that we're charged with. And Cassie's saying, no, that's exactly who he is. That every single thing that he's accused of, he did, and I'm living proof of it. The things that look like I did willingly, I was always afraid. And it's really going to come down to how you see that. And, I don't know the answer. I don't know how it's going to play out. But it's only going to get more compelling. The trial, that is. Lots more people are going to take the stand, and they're all going to paint him as a monster, and he's going to paint all of them as having an agenda and other ulterior motives. So I don't know what the answer is in terms of what the outcome is going to be, but I can tell you, the defense, they got their work cut out for them, and the prosecution, while I still think that they're the favorite to win based on what I've heard and seen so far, this ain't like a normal federal trial. So just keep that in mind.